a second. Okay. They're going to drag me away, but what I wanted to give you an idea is how we did the mind game. So, hanging over in that corner, ignore that. Moises is getting set up on the lollipop rig, which would not have been used in this studio. Somebody asked, where did we do this? This studio, if you look around, there's all these cameras, and you should explain this in a minute, that record digitally information from every angle of what's happening with the man in this suit. And that allows us to have a three-dimensional world of what the action was, so that we can then photograph it again in a virtual world, and we can use the actions of the actor to give to the animators as a guide to what we want that giant to be doing. But then, as you saw in the final movie, they create that beautiful look of the giant. We're not trying to create the look of the giant here. We're just trying to capture his body movements and his facial expressions, which is what all these small cameras pointing at his face are doing. And there'd be dots all over his face. Do I have to have dots on his face anymore, or are you just doing video? Why don't you explain better, because there's dots missing that I would think were there.
Well, you've actually just done all the work.
Okay, good. But you kick me in the butt when I get the technology wrong, right?
You're right so
These
far.
are the experts. So if you have any questions, don't ask me. Ask this man. He knows really how it works. But I know enough to be dangerous and how to use it, and it's an amazing tool. So what we thought we'd do is, here comes the giant. And okay, why don't you photograph or
Abel's got the camera.
you photograph it. You show us what we're going to do. So we're just going to set up a simple scenario. Imagine we're starting the shot here, and the amazing thing that is happening is while he's doing his movements, these cameras and the computer systems in them and elsewhere in hard drives that are beyond my comprehension are processing just about in real time by milliseconds of delay the action into an animated character that's not anywhere near as high res or well done as our final result, but is giving us an approximation of what we would be seeing, and certainly allowing us to decide what the framing will be. So as a director, I can say, I need to come in tighter here, I need to back off. You're going to see how it works. Okay, watch. Let's just do a bit of a move. So let's start back here. Giant's going to come forward. Let's not see the giant, so drop the camera low enough to imagine that it's just the table. He emerges from behind the table. He's going to walk forward, and he's going to thump his fist down on this table, looking at the mouse, which will be played, the role of the mouse will be played by me. Looking at the mouse that comes up, and this mouse is really just for eye line, and I'm going to move the giant's mouse. The giant's look around if the mouse climbs onto here, and I'm going to ask our wonderful camera operator to come around and look at the giant's face. So her move is going to be to push towards him as he comes forward and then move around. And you can see it happening on that screen. All right, we're going fast because of time. Yes. Ready, and action. Here's the mouse. Whoops, he's missing him horribly. Oh, you see? Okay. Okay, so you get the idea. You imagine you're the cameraman, and you try and maintain a good composition. You won't be the mouse. Go ahead, the mouse.
Are you the cameraman?
Yeah, you're going to be the cameraman. First up, I just picked a volunteer. So here's what I'm trying to. So imagine you're my cameraman and this is the actor, and here's what I'm trying to achieve, gentlemen, today. So forget all of this. What we're trying to achieve is I want the giant to come in with a certain amount of force and aggression, and I want the camera operator to try and match that feeling of energy. Because if you come in too slowly and your energy is all different to the actor, you can really mess with the mood of the scene. So you're going to try and come in. I want you to frame in with a bit of this table and his face here. So we run a little rehearsal. So you've got this shot. Find your comfortable position there. Now we would mark him on the floor so he knows where he's going to be. Now, as he lands, as this camera lands here, he's going to look as if the mouse is moving onto this thing. You go off of his face turn. Don't anticipate it, because you want the actor's look to lead your camera, not your camera to lead the actor. So if you're nicely framed up here, on the jump, good, you've got a nice bottom edge of the table, that's good, and now the giant looks at the mouse, and we follow him around, and while you follow him around, we want to come in closer to a beautiful close-up, just there. So we would set another mark, or you would, in your mind, your assistant would put a mark on the floor and say that's where you're going. So it's actually just like using a real camera, only we're recording data. And by the way, if I don't like the way the shot worked out, because the data has been recorded in 360 degrees, I can completely redo the shot when the actor's gone home. Because we've actually, using all these cameras in the room, recorded his movements from every side. And that's what makes it so amazing. It's you can go in there and correct it.
Yes, you won't see the mouse there.
All right, here we go, Mr. Operator. This is to see. Test your skills as an operator. Ready. So set your shot. Do me a favor, drop the camera down a little, and now tilt it up. I don't want to see the giant at all. Hide him behind the thing, and tilt it up to the trees. So start with this imposing, tilt it up a little more, tilt it up more. This weird forest. Okay, that's great. Here we go. Ready, and action.
Ah! What are you doing here?
And push in closer on his face. Don't lose his eyes. There you go. Cool. Now, you see on this screen all of these horrible facial expressions. Don't worry about their distortion. That actually can be corrected. What matters is that there's little cameras on his face recording his every movement. Gary, correct me. We would normally have dots placed on his face. So the animators have almost like a connected dots thing. The dots across his lip, dots here, dots all over the place. The animator can use that to help decide when the eyebrow might go up. Instead of the animator working from scratch, they have a template from which to work based on an actor's actual performance. All
Ready,
right,
set.
one more.
Beautiful, lovely shot. And action.
Ah! What are you doing here?
Oh, good operating. Yes, you're hired.
Fantastic. The other thing you can do with this camera is, let's say I've got action happening across this room, and I want to follow it. I can calibrate it so that when I take one step, the camera actually takes 3 or 2 or 5. Interrupt me if I got it wrong. It's been a long time since I did. So that you can make movement. And say I want to jib up. I'm looking at something on the ground, and I want to do a jib that lifts up out of the forest. Instead of me having to go up there, I could say for every foot that I rise the camera in the computer, rise me 5 feet or 2 feet or 7 feet. It's just an amazing tool of flexibility. Yes.
As I said, this is a lollipop bridge that Garrett Warren developed this. He was a stunt coordinator for Ender's Game to create the weightlessness effects for the actors and characters flying around. He makes it look very easy.
Just a little bit of practice.
But you've been away from it for 2 years, right?
I have. And then, you get cut like that. You get back
And you
up.
write it yourself.
One of the biggest things was core strength. So whoever can hold this for 30 seconds, I'm very proud. Other than that, you just pretty much do whatever you want to do. The hardest part is actually staying in character and remembering your lines while still doing this and remembering where you're in zero gravity.
So that everything's balanced really well, so he could grab onto a piece of the set and move himself around, being weightless. And you've been away from it for
2 years.
2 years? And
Yeah.
he's still got it.
It's a bicycle.
As I said, I think he was gifted with the natural air awareness and adapting to different
Ah,
rigs.
messed that slow one up. You guys get the feel. It's a fun contraption that can get tricky once you don't remember what's up and down. That's Moisés Arias.
You want to give a little demonstration of the pirouette?
Huh?
Pirouette, just in one spot. I'll
Oh,
set
yeah,
it at
sure.
45. And what are you doing to get yourself to make the rotations?
Distributing my body weight with the correct timing to make it seem as if I'm not out of control. Like
Yeah, not jerky, nice and smooth, yeah.
it's legs, it's really all together
There we go.
to make it seem deep.
Nice.
Okay, come on down.